Opening tone and emotional hook. The very first pages of The Secret do not begin with theory. They begin with urgency, almost breathless excitement, as if Rhonda Byrne has been holding her breath for years and is finally allowed to speak. She describes how the knowledge of The Secret came to her at the lowest point of her life, exhausted, broke, grieving the death of her father, and watching her family and work collapse around her. In that darkness, her daughter handed her a tattered, 100-year-old book, later revealed to be Wallace D. Wattles' The Science of Getting Rich. Within minutes of reading it, tears streamed down Byrne's face because she instinctively recognized the truth she had been searching for her entire life. This personal origin story is not incidental. It is the emotional foundation of the entire chapter. Byrne is not presenting an academic thesis. She is testifying. She tells the reader, in essence, "I was you. I was desperate. And then I discovered something that changed everything in weeks." This raw vulnerability immediately disarms skepticism and creates a bond of shared humanity before a single metaphysical claim has been made. The revelation of The Secret itself. Only after this emotional groundwork does Byrne utter the two words that will define the rest of the book. The secret is the law of attraction. She presents it not as a theory, not as a nice idea, but as the single greatest law governing human existence, the missing piece that great teachers, geniuses, and avatars have known and used for millennia. The chapter then unfolds like a roll call of history's greatest minds who, according to Byrne and her contributors, all understood and applied this law. Play. Shakespeare. Newton. Hugo. Beethoven. Lincoln. Emerson. Edison. Einstein. The ancient Babylonians, credited with building their empire through deliberate use of the law. The implicit message is powerful. If these titans of civilization knew it, and you don't, then your ignorance, not your circumstances, not your upbringing, not your bad luck, is the only thing standing between you and the same level of greatness. First contributor voices, establishing authority. The chapter rapidly introduces the first wave of the 24 teachers who will appear throughout the book. They function almost like a modern-day council of elders, each delivering short, punchy statements designed to be memorable and quotable. Bob Proctor, philosopher and wealth coach. The secret is the law of attraction. Everything that's coming into your life you are attracting into your life by virtue of the images you're holding in your mind. Proctor is positioned as the warm, grandfatherly figure who makes the law feel accessible. He compares it to Aladdin's lamp. You have always had 3 wishes, and you've been making them all along, whether you knew it or not. John Assaraf, entrepreneur, describes how he wrote a vision on a board years earlier about owning a specific mansion. Years later, while moving boxes into a new house, his young son pulled out that same vision board. They were now living in the exact house he had visualized. The emotional impact on Assaraf is still audible in the retelling. He tears up because the law worked with mathematical precision. Dr. Joe Vital, metaphysician and marketer. This is called the law of attraction. It is always responding to you. It doesn't know if you want it or not. It doesn't know if you're having a good time thinking about it or a bad time. It just responds to your thought. Vital introduces the crucial concept of vibrational frequency. Every thought sends out a magnetic signal, and the universe is a giant mirror reflecting back experiences that match that frequency. Lisa Nichols, motivational speaker. You become what you think about most, but you also attract what you think about most. Nichols brings a heartfelt, street-level authenticity. She speaks directly to readers who feel stuck in poverty or toxic relationships, insisting that their current reality is not permanent. It is merely evidence of past thinking. Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, spiritual leader, Agape founder. You've been doing it your whole life. You're a living magnet. Beckwith elevates the conversation to a spiritual level, framing the law not as a technique, but as a divine principle built into the fabric of creation. These early voices are deliberately sequenced. Scientific sounding, Assaraf, spiritual Beckwith, emotional Nichols, practical proctor, and metaphysical vital. The reader is surrounded on all sides by different personalities who all agree on one thing, creating a powerful consensus effect. Core mechanics of the law of attraction, as explained in Chapter 1. Bion distills the law into 3 simple steps that will be repeated throughout the book, though fully elaborated only in Chapter 2. Ask, know what you want, and ask the universe. Believe, act, speak, and think as if you have already received it. Receive, feel the feelings of having it now, and it must come to you. Chapter 1 focuses almost entirely on the first 2, emphasizing that most people fail because they don't truly believe. They ask, but then immediately contradict their request with doubt, worry, or statements like, "I can't afford it," or "it'll never happen." A key metaphor introduced here is the cosmic catalog or universal catalog. Bion compares the universe to the old Sears catalog. You can order anything you want: health, wealth, love, the perfect parking spot, as long as you follow the ordering process correctly. The moment you start complaining that the catalog is out of stock, you cancel the order. The mirror analogy: your life is evidence. One of the most confronting sections of the chapter is when the teachers insist that your current life is perfect proof that the law works. Every detail, your bank balance, your waistline, the state of your relationships, is the direct result of your previous dominant thoughts and feelings. John DeMartini drives the point home. If you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. This is presented not as judgment, but as liberation. If your thoughts created the unwanted reality, different thoughts can create a new one. Bion shares the story of a man who won the lottery twice and lost everything twice. When he finally understood the law, he regained his fortune permanently by focusing on gratitude and abundance instead of fear of loss. The implication is clear. The law never fails, only our inconsistent use of it does.